people when it is not a registered body. And many temples in this country, and some mosques too, because mosques too has got to be registered under the Sharia enactment. But as far as temples are concerned, whether Hindu temples or Chinese temples, if they are not registered under the Society Act, they are an illegal society, they cannot sue or be sued. So Pakatan Rakyat is not a legal entity. It's just a joint venture, Dato' Farizam says, it's a joint venture, a confederation, a loose confederation of people. Yeah, that's why they have many manifestos. That's why you find three kind of persons with different ideologies. Some are contradictory, sleeping on the same bed. Yeah, that's number one. Number two, you asked me why do I use the word sabotage. I did say for the lack of better word. The reason why I say sabotage is because it is so systematic that the minute 28-31 become 31-28, they systematically remove 3, then systematically remove another 7. The idea is to tilt the balance in their favor unlawfully. In that sense, I use the word sabotage.
Thank you. Mr. Ngah, would you like to respond? He also directed a question to you.
I think I will take out the anti-hopping question. I fully agree with you. The law as it stands, there is nothing to prevent an elected representative from hopping from one party to another. That is the law as it stands. Whether morally this is something proper, otherwise is of course individual's perception, and whether this is the best thing to do. Perhaps if a person is interested to be independent, then his starting point when he contests for the election, he should stand as an independent. Then we know exactly where his political affiliation or ideological support lies. Now what happened is, the defection of the 3 Aduns has subjected the democratic ideal to political ordeal, at least for the state of Perak, that's been dragging on for months. And this is something definitely for Parliament to look into, how we can avoid this situation of people suddenly after being elected on one party platform, then becoming independent, and then maybe with the view of joining another party in the distant future. As to who will be embarrassed by non-compliance of the federal court decision by the legislature, it is a question of perception and opinion. I would not want to engage you in any debate or argument on this. You can hold your view, I can hold mine. We can coexist peacefully on this point. Much obliged.
Thank you. Dato' Hafaizah wants to respond a little bit.
Firstly, I think this issue of federal court. You see, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, we also lost. UMNO lost, Barisan Nasional lost. When I first objected to few lawyers acting for the speaker, I won at the Ipoh High Court. But that when it was taken up to the Court of Appeal, and the Court of Appeal said that the speaker can appoint a private lawyer, we all abided by it. And that's when Mr. Ngah and the rest came and acted for the speaker. Then came another defeat by us, which is the Section 84. But this was not highlighted. See, what happened was, Justice Lau Bilian in KL for the Nizar Zamri suit referred the matter to the federal court. And then when we got to know, we applied for the 3 assemblymen to also refer it to the federal court under Section 84 of the Courts of Judicature Act. That Section 84, when it went to the federal court, was also dismissed. So, okay, we went back to the High Court, and then we saw in Perak Constitution, there is this Article 63 yang menyatakan that in any of the stage of the proceeding, if there is an interpretation of the Perak Constitution, either party may apply to the federal court. So, you see, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, I'll be frank with you. If I know that there is another 6 months down the road for the Dewan, I would happily fight it at the High Court. Why? Fees. 2, I get more publicity. 3, maybe I can win a lot. But I don't have time. So I have to go straight and do it to the federal court. And when I got it at the federal court, there is no issue. It's already final. Whether compliance or not is, again, like what Mr. Ngah cakap, is a matter of perception. But my view is, if you don't comply, we are going for contempt. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan.
Thank you. It's almost 10:50. Can we have, I think, the last,
Tom Fai Chong.
yeah,
about the national press.
Okay.
Just a short one. I'm just responding to the provocation from the floor.
Press Club.
Mr. Tom on the National Press Club. Yes, welcome. We hope to be holding more of such discourse in the future. But to your question about whether your accusation that most journalists are anti-government, that's not quite true. I think most journalists don't even vote. I'm 48. I voted for the first time in Perak last year, and I voted against. Okay, I voted against the government. Which government I wouldn't tell you, but the point is that it's not the journalists, it's the newspapers. Because I know a lot of journalists in Harakah who don't really like PAS. But when they write their stories, it's always pro PAS. The same with the AP, Rocket, and the same goes with NST, the Star, and so on and so forth. But what the journalists believe or what they stand for is not usually reflected by the newspapers. It is the newspapers which are owned by political parties. You are politicians, you know what I'm talking about. And as long as newspapers are owned by politicians, newspapers are answerable to these politicians. Thank you.
Thank you. Tuan-tuan perempuan, just for your information, saya sendiri dilahirkan di Ipoh, orang Perak. But I vote in Lembah Pantai in Kuala Lumpur, and I can tell you that my vote was counted lah. That's all. Okay, can we have the last three questions, because memang kita dah hampir kehabisan masa. The last three questions. Yes, nama Encik.
Nama saya Ishak Haji Muhammad. Sebenarnya bagi saya, Perak krisis ni bukan yang ini. Kalau kita study sejarah, Perak krisis ni lebih lagi yang melibatkan Sultan. Apabila rakyat terasa terhina, Sultan tercemar, itu yang jadi burst dibunuh loh. Itu pun Perak krisis je. So dalam konteks ini, apa saja pelaku-pelaku politik buat, kena ingat bahawa dalam tahun 1969 kesannya amat besar, mengibatkan negara kita huru-hara akibat daripada politik. Apabila rakyat tidak boleh dikawal, maka timbullah 5 pilar itu tadi, rukun negara. Antara ini yang kedua ialah taat kepada Sultan, dan yang kelima kesopanan dan kesusilaan. Apa saja ahli politik nak buatlah, tapi jangan hina Sultan. Saya nak echo apa yang Datuk Syafiee cakap. Bukan kerana Datuk Syafiee di atas tu yang dia berani sanggup cakap. Saya yang di bawah ni pun nak echo orang-orang Melayu. Jangan sekali-kali hina Sultan. There is a way for you to bring Sultan. Jangan kata kami saman Sultan, jangan. Kalau you fikir you nak tak puas hati dengan keputusan Sultan, buat secara tata cara dan kesusilaan. Bawa satu kes, kita minta mahkamah tafsirkan keputusannya. Cukup. Hari ini last